This is a great image of a respectable, classy, beautiful woman.
For you to point out this well-dressed sister here to make me feel some type of way about myself becomes a problem.
Let me get you.
Reason I have never said I do is because I don't.
I've been married, and I couldn't sign up for bad sex.
Test drive.
So if we enter a relationship with anything that's about me, then I don't believe that we're ready.
Yeah, that's my motherfucking jam. Won't you turn that up? And if you're single on a Saturday night,
Single and they're mingling, or they're single and they got 10 different boyfriends and girlfriends, whatever. But single is for everybody that's not married. And we also have to have some married people around us, because how are we going to learn what it's like to get married, whether we're going to run the other way and not get married? You know, single on a Saturday night embodies all that. I am Shelly Williams. I am single. And it's complicated. I would say my yellow bracelet is complicated, but I have no kids, but I'm happy. I'm just happy. We're gonna pass it down to happy people.
Hello, this is Davina, aka Diamond Girl, and I'm here to enjoy this time on the panel with Single on a Saturday Night. Single, ready to mingle, and I keep it sexy all day.
Oh, okay.
Hello, I'm Roberto Lopez, and I would like to announce, or at least share with you guys, that I'm not the only one that's enjoying myself on this side of the camera. My daughter was selected to perform during the halftime Super Bowl show with Bruno Mars, and she did an outstanding job. Shout outs to my baby girl.
Yay!
Hi, I'm Dr. David Pulley, owner of Diamonds and Rough Consulting, the relationship doctor, and also the soulmate expert.
Hi everybody, I'm Alicia and I'm single and I'm waiting.
That's a good one.
I am Christopher, aka The Gentleman. I am married. My wife is here with me today. Actor, singer, producer, and now radio personality.
Awesome. See, we didn't even know. We knew he was married, but we never had a chance to meet his wife. So, you know, it's a great experience to meet his wife and all that kind of stuff. You know, thank you for allowing us to do that. But he still flirts extra hard. I don't mean to put his business out, but he really does flirt extra hard, even with his wife here. So, I don't know. That leads us to the topic. We're talking about trending topics. Everybody always wants to know what the topic is for the day, but we go through so many topics in a day on Single on a Saturday Night, many topics. And today's trending topic is the whole thing with Scandal, Being Mary Jane, and the have and have-nots. This whole thing has been discussed so many times. Why the side chick is being celebrated so much. Do we not talk about that every 5 seconds in this group?
Well, you know, we do.
The side chick is being celebrated. I even heard a radio commercial on my way over here about the side chick is doing the move. It was on, like, why are we celebrating the side chick? And how do you really feel about Being Mary Jane, Scandal, and the have and have-nots? Well, side chicks is winning. Side chicks is winning.
I don't think that
it's kidding. That's a joke.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's that that which was under the covers or in the dark just has come to light. Because the side chick ain't nothing new. The side chick been around for hundreds of years. There's always been a mistress. But I'm going to tell you this. These side chicks don't know their place. That's the problem. That's what it is. You know, I mean, you know, my granddaddy had a side chick and my grandmama had a side. Oh, that rhymed. But, you know, but they all knew their place. Now it's, you know, if you the side piece, because who ain't been to a funeral with Nana and then you find out that she was really somebody's side chick, or your Uncle Harry died, there's 3 women on the back row with 6 other kids? Come on now. Everybody knows somebody like that. But now, it's not, you know, it's the open family secret. Now, these women are, I'm the side chick and I'm proud of it and everybody gonna know it. And you know what, there are benefits to being a side chick. We did a show on it.
We did a show on, however, this whole thing has been really national. Like, some people celebrate Olivia Pope on Scandal, but other than that, when you look at Being Mary Jane, sometimes we diss Mary Jane. Because I wonder why. Why do we? What about the men? I need to come for. Why do we?
Oh, the men.
diss?
I think the men. I think that the men diss Olivia Pope more than Mary Jane. Because she got a white man.
Well, let's hear from the men.
Powerful white man.
I think for the thing on Scandal, I'm not as familiar with Being Mary Jane, but for the thing on Scandal, I think the reason why the celebration is happening is because Fitz he's really in love with the side chick. So it's not the traditional side chick role where it's like, oh, I'm gonna leave my wife. It's just the promise that keeps being said that never happens. He's actually in love with her, and actually, if it wasn't for his political status, he would be with Olivia Pope. So I know that that's still not kosher, especially to those who are married or for those who are in solid relationships. But I think the thing that's a little different than the traditional side chick or side piece role is that in at least for Scandal, there's an actual love there, and so he's looking to possibly leave, for that love that he has for her.
I actually don't watch Scandal. I do watch Being Mary Jane, and I think with Being Mary Jane, and somebody wanted to know how is it that she can act so well in that part. Life imitates art.
Boom.
Life imitates art. She can do it because that's her. That's who she is. If you remember, she was the side piece to Dwayne Wade because Dwayne Wade was married. But it's being celebrated more because it's out there more. That's just like with homosexuality. Everybody was in the closet. Now all of a sudden everybody out the closet. Why? Because the world is celebrating, and the world is actually saying that it's okay to do these things now.
No.
Now,
I don't think the world is saying it's okay to do these things.
If they weren't saying it wasn't okay, you wouldn't see it as much.
I won't think about the world saying it, but what I see the difference between Scandal, and, which Olivia Pope and the Being Mary Jane character, is the fact that and Olivia Pope seems like she's got it together. When you look at Being Mary Jane, she seems like she's a mess. She seems like she's unhappy. Olivia Pope seems like she's cool, she's dealing with, and she's got other men after her. It seems like Being Mary Jane is just like
desperate black woman.
Desperate black woman, and it makes you like, ugh. It gives you that because she doesn't seem like she has it all together, and she's like she's gonna take anything.
I think in this whole realm of being adults and doing extramarital things, I think a woman can handle a man probably, and it's not like the side piece, having like sex on the side, but it's the pursuit of the relationship that I don't think she can handle, because then you're just living two whole separate lives, which I don't think is fair or would be fair to the one that you previously committed to. So then that's when I think the issue was like, oh, but you said you was going to be here, but you're not there because you're pursuing a relationship. Now, if you just happen to accidentally fall into a female and had sex, that could be forgiven. And I think most women can handle that. But the whole pursuit of a relationship, I think that's where all the scandal comes from.
But you're talking about Mary Jane, you're talking about Olivia Pope. Y'all can't forget my baby Candace on the have and the have-nots.
Yeah, right.
The thing about Candace and the have and the have-nots is that's that unknown power that she has. She has a fire to her, she has a power to her, and at any given time, she can push a button that benefits her. A sexy way about it, she's not afraid of anyone, and a lot of men are drawn to women who have that little sassiness to them. They may not admit it publicly, they like a little sassiness to them. So with Candace, having that attitude and her being intelligent and being smart and being sexy, a lot of men desire that, but won't openly say anything about it.
But you said a key part, the power. Because Olivia Pope and Candace don't need them. But Being Mary Jane seems like she needs the guy.
Needs validation.
Right,
she wants to be married. She wants a man, and she just looks desperate. And not that it's not like her situation's any different than anybody else's. We might all seem desperate at some point, but hers just doesn't seem like she can handle what she's going through. And I think moving forward, that's what we want to make sure that everybody gets an understanding that not to be like that. I don't want to be a side chick or a left chick or right chick. I want to be the chick, and that's it. Okay.
You got to remember that Mary Jane, she didn't know he was married. So she had already, you know, began loving him and having intercourse with him and being with him. And then when she found out there was a pull to like, okay, how am I going to get away from him? And then she tried, but he would not leave her alone. And then this is the difference. He's actually pursuing her, which is a rare case. Side chicks are not normally pursued for marriage. So we got to consider that as well.
I think that where we are with it is that it's not just about the TV show. These 3 television shows have just have exemplified for us 3 different types of side chick. We've seen 3 different types of this relationship, and now we're talking about it. It's a national conversation. I don't think it's what we want, but it's a conversation. It's something that we now have to recognize. And the reason that we're having a show today is to really talk about it so that we can have open discourse and examine ourselves. Where do we fall on this? Is it what we accept? Is it what we think is a healthy relationship? And is it what any of us want to do?
Excuse me. Wait. We're going to go to a break. It's time for a break. When we come back with Montera, and we're going to go to a break. This is Single on a Saturday Night right here, TGI Fridays, 4,000 City Ad. We do this every 4th Saturday. And, you know, let's go to a break. Thank you, everyone.
Home fire relief services provided by our local Red Cross are funded exclusively by private donations. Donate now. Visit PhillyHomeFire.org. Without your help, there is no help.
Weren't you about to speak?
Yes. On being Mary Jane, number one, she had enough time to walk away from that situation. Some women get caught up in sex, and all she had this dream of wanting a relationship, so she was willing to settle for that.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of us think we're ready to settle for so many things. I think she was lonely, but all of these are our opinions. She could have been lonely. She definitely likes sex. She definitely has a healthy sexual appetite, and that's really important. That's what I noticed in it. So I think we should celebrate the fact that she has a very healthy sexual appetite, and I think I think we should adopt some of those things.
There's nothing wrong with this, Shelley.
You know, I think we should adopt some of those things.
There's nothing wrong with the healthy and high sex drive.
Well, I think, Shelley, as we've been exploring this, I think that we've seen you come out of your shell some, and we've seen you change in those regards. Because the Shelley I knew a year and a half ago wouldn't be telling us celebrate nothing. Okay?
I say you go home and pray. That's what I say. You pray. If you got a feeling, just pray about it, sister.
I'd hate to be Dave the Downer, but y'all know my angle.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing. It is something wrong with a healthy high sex drive, especially for women, especially if you're asking for a higher level of relationship and you don't want to be a side chick, because I'm going to tell you, those who focus very much on sex and the physical aspect of relationships, they're the ones that wind up being side chicks and wind up not having the type of relationships they say that they want. Because if you focus too much on sex and the physical, then that's one thing. You're missing all of the things that really go into a solid, long-lasting, committed relationship, and you're also going to miss the type of dude who can provide that if you're focused too much on the sex. So a high sex drive is healthy for a relationship or for a marriage, you know, but outside of that, if you really want those higher levels of love and higher levels of relationship, especially on a soulmate tip, then you have to curb that sex drive, and you have to know where to put that, and that it's the lowest thing that's on the priority of the 4 pillars that I call spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I'm not saying sex, you know, I'm never going to go out there and say we're supposed to go out there and have sex. But the fact that sex has been one of those things that men think women don't do, or once you get married, you're not going to do it. But to identify that you actually do enjoy it the same amount as a man does, it helps you to talk about it. I think that's the difference. She's saying, listen, I enjoy it. I'm telling you I enjoy it. Wish she was in the whole context of marriage. That's what I want, for real. But in the context of marriage, but I'm saying that we so much, I had it hidden, like what I really, really liked, because I'm thinking, oh God, we can't talk about it. Although I don't want to do it without God's, permission, but why not talk about it? If I had not talked about it with these women and these people, I would not understand who my body is and what I really want. Sure. I'd have been sitting here like, I'm bored, I'm dead, I don't got no sex. I mean, it would have been it was a whole different story, wasn't it? It was a whole different story. I had really progressed.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where the side chick picked up in, where when you couldn't have that conversation at home, you found someone on the side and say, you listen, you get it, you don't expect the same. She knows, like what Danielle said, she don't know her place anymore, and it turned into relationships as opposed to just a side piece, just that moment of weakness or whatever else that was.
No, when I say they don't know their place, please don't get it twisted. Because actually, I think the side chicks of yesterday are much better than the side chicks of today. Because the side chicks of yesterday had entire houses. They had vehicles. They had entire families that were well taken care of by these men, and it was the 80-20. They knew they was only providing certain things for these men, and women was providing, and their wives were providing these other things for these men.
My thing would be, I don't think you can't blame the side Joe and the side chick for changing the game. In order for the side piece to know her place, that man that she's being the side piece for has to place her. And what's happening, like even with being Mary Jane, and I have to admit, I have been that side piece, so I understand. But this is why I can identify with Mary Jane. A lot of people are like, oh, we don't like Mary Jane. That's like the majority of us women out here have been through that and will continue to go through that. With her, she found out that he was married, but she already spoken into her soul and her existence that this was a possibility of her soulmate. That's what made her become stuck with him. And I think that's what everybody is missing. It's not just about the sex with her. I just watched that episode the day before I got here. Didn't know what the topic was going to be. That's funny. But I just watched that, and I'm like, wow, it made me look at it differently, because in her saying, I looked at you as my possible soulmate. But when you look at that scene between her and him, it's about the sex for him. But when you look at the scene where they had with him and his wife, and he told the wife, and what the wife said, and I'm sorry I had this, she said, who wants in your mouth early in the morning? So he's with Mary Jane for the sex. She's with him because somewhere in her mind, she got it twisted.
Yeah, I think we all get it twisted. And I guess, you know, sometimes we forget about our past. And I could say in the past, I think my life has mirrored Mary Jane, right? I was with someone who didn't tell me they were married, and then once I got involved, in my mind, he became my soulmate, and we, you know, did the happily ever after, get a house, get.
Not even that, but you know, everybody who hasn't been on that side of it doesn't understand. When you have feelings involved, it's hard to use your mind when you have your heart all in it. So you can't just wake up and go, you know what, I'm not supposed to be the side piece, I need to leave. Especially when you have this man, when you know you number two, but he's treating you like you number one. And with Olivia Pope, my last point, please. Fitz never loved his wife from day one, so it was easy for him to have an Olivia Pope.
You said a key part, and it's the heart. Once that heart gets involved, see the past side chicks, maybe, you know, they weren't getting involved because they knew what they wanted to do. The man was taking care of them. They weren't getting emotional with the man. But nowadays, when you're getting treated the way that you want to be treated, even if it's not from the man you want to be treated by, your heart gets involved, and now you fall in love. Now you want to spend more time with the man. Right. But you knew this from the beginning.
No, I didn't know mine from the beginning. I'm gonna put that.
No, I'm not saying you knew he was married.
I'm not a harlot, so no, I'm just kidding.
When you deal with a married man, and you know he's married, from the beginning it's like, okay, I'm gonna just deal with him and that's it. But once he start treating you and start getting into your heart, especially with women are emotional creatures, and once that heart starts to feel for that man, it's all she wrote.
I know.
I don't think. Sorry, excuse me. I gotta jump in.
Go ahead, jump in.
Mary Jane, that's different. She didn't know he was married, and he proposed to her. And first of all, I don't think no one can break up a marriage. The marriage was already in trouble. So, you know, I don't think that she is the villain, because he's gonna leave his wife regardless if he would marry Jane or with somebody else.
No, that's not the point. What I see now, he's saying, she's saying to you, are you going to leave me? Don't leave her for me. Leave her because you're going to leave her. Because soon as Mary Jane's out the picture, he's going to go crawl back up with his wife. He's not leaving just to be without his wife. He's leaving for Mary Jane. He's going to have one of them or the other. He's going to be with his wife if Mary Jane's not there. So,
but Mary Jane is there. And it's not like she just a side joint because he proposed to her. Now, I don't think she should marry him because, you know, we need time to heal from relationship to relationship, but
they just keep pushing you around, right?
But I think it's different in her case because most side joints don't get a ring.
I got a ring.
She got a ring.
I got a ring. What does that mean? He went back to his wife. wife, I got a ring.
But she
What
put
that
them
do
out,
for
so
me?
y'all ain't see the new episode.
See that?
See, no. It goes back to the point
we
that I
didn't see
just
the new
said.
episode, but I saw my life. I
Listen,
don't see the episode,
he
but I know
is
when my
saying-
life played out. Guess where he was? Back with his wife, living happily ever after. So I got the ring. What did that mean? I got the house. What did that mean? He back. He went right back to his wife. Now he got another wife, but that's a different story. But he went right back to his wife. That's how. I don't know how Mary Jane gonna play out, but the story plays out the same way. You don't win. She's not gonna win. She's not. That's gonna wrap it up. We're gonna go to a break. I heard this person go wrap it up. Let's go to a break right here. Single on a Saturday night.
Looking for a nutritious and delicious meal on a budget? Well, look no further. I'm Durwood Selby, chef and host of the Selby Signature. You may have seen me out on the streets of Philadelphia getting the culinary pulse of the people. I'm trying to find out what you guys are eating and cooking. If you have not seen me there, then be sure and join me on Philly Cam, channel 66, on Saturdays at 6 p.m. or Verizon, channels 29 and 30. I look forward to feeding you.
Welcome back to Single on a Saturday night. We don't have much left of the show. We're going to take it to the audience. Tracy?
One of the things that I noticed with being Mary Jane was in one of the episodes, it really showed that Mary Jane really has an addictive behavior problem. And that is why I think it probably was a little bit more easier for her to be connected and everything because of that family addictive behavior. And sometimes we don't take an opportunity to really look at that. We got to look at not that surface piece, but what's going on underneath.
Okay, with these television shows that are very cleverly written, you get to examine all the subplots of everything. What I would like to know is, when women find out about the other woman, why do the first thing they say, well, you must not be doing something right. You must not be doing your job. You must not be. So then why do women come at the other women when she's supposed to be doing everything right and you know what I mean? And she the side piece. Why do they turn into that? Why does she come at the wife like you ain't doing your job?
We've been talking about the woman's aspect of it, but we haven't spent any time talking about why does a man select or choose to have a side woman. We're talking about married men. And in my experience talking to married men, it's about, for them it was new excitement. A lot of guys say, I don't want to trade my wife in. I like the new excitement. I invest in my wife, and the key word is invest in her, but I enjoy the pleasures of this other woman. And those are the things that we have to understand when it comes to that. It's a selection process. It is, if you will allow me to have fun with you without me giving you everything, I will continue to do it. We got to look at that. Let's look at why do we as men need that in addition? Because sometimes when some people are satisfied with just getting married, and somebody said, well, he ain't going nowhere, I got him. Don't just get to the point of getting married. Now you have to live through that marriage, and if you ain't got fire, you got to have smoke all the time. Have some smoke. If not, you will fall into these situations with Mary Jane, Candace, and with Pope.
No, I disagree. Because it can be as exciting as it wants to be, and it could be, I mean, you could be bringing home the bacon, frying it up in the pan in lingerie, getting splattered by grease for, you know, while you walking around in some 5-inch stilettos. If he has the opportunity and the desire to do it, he's going to do it. Nobody can control anybody's actions but themselves. And that whole thing that, you know, I get so tired, because Shelly just went on her rant, so I'm going to go on mine. I get so tired of women being blamed for everything and keeping the fire. What you doing? I don't see you rolling up in the thong giving me a dance in the kitchen. I want to know what you doing to keep my fire burning. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm most likely to have a side piece in the relationship.
Yeah, go ahead, David. We're going to go David and then Jules. David, then Jules. Go ahead.
Again, I don't want to be Dave the Downer, but I have to say it. About sex, another reason why it's very important for women, more than men, have to be especially careful on the sex piece is because sex is an internal act for women. So the reason why the heart gets connected with the sexual act is because the whole process of having sex, sexual intercourse, is she's taking a man inside of her. So it's very hard for her to, from a spiritual.
Can you just prove that? I'm not meaning to interrupt. And I just say this because, again, I'm on my rant. And I hear this all the time about, oh, you know, it's different because you're taking a man into your body and that's why I can't get over it when you cheating. And it's okay because I didn't love that chick. No. If you respect and love the other person, and I start with respect. because you have to have respect for what the commitment that you made to me, and I have respect for the commitment that I made to you. It ain't got nothing to do about the fact that your penis went into my vagina and my vagina did not go into your penis. It has everything to do with the fact that we decided that we were going to disrespect each other when we decided that we were going to look somewhere else. And with that disrespect, you destroyed the love, you destroyed the trust, you destroyed the relationship.
But I guess what I'm talking about is more so the side chick or the side piece. The sexual act for her makes it more likely for her to gain those feelings that she says a lot of times in the first. Well, just physically, just looking at the physical act.
In
she's
biology,
taking a man
I have
inside
never
of her.
read anything about the fact that a man enters a woman, meaning that it connected to my heart.
Right,
through the
because
blood
it's
vessels.
not just, it's a psychobiology thing. So the whole thing is the biologically, we all know what's happening with the organs, right?
It's in your mind. Like, women are more, let me see.
So it sounds like you need to get your mind right.
No, but
Well, you
it's
can
in
get
your
your
mind,
mind,
but your body, your soul, everything is connecting to this
all
man.
connected, right.
Men don't, I mean, some of them do feel the same way. Some men are sensitive, more sensitive. Some men aren't. Some women aren't. Some women are. Some women are. Most women, once you take a man, your feelings, everything, you're like, oh my God, I just did this. Even if you didn't like him, you're going to think about it later, sometimes, most
women,
of the time.
you saying most women get more attached?
Most women would get more
I
attached.
think Jules, Jules, then you have something to say?
I'm going back to like...
She over there having the same side conversation. Jules, go ahead.
Been there, done that. Based on like what David said about men and how they feel. If you decided that you want to get married, these side chicks out there, they know. No woman have a man and you don't know if he's married. You know. And why take it that it's okay for you to be that side chick when he leaves my house? He's going home to her. Why are you coming to me telling me, oh, she's not doing this, she's not doing that, but you're not staying with me? You leave in my house to go home to her. And side chicks not only ruin wives, I used to be one, you ruin family, children, and it pisses me off. I don't know about anybody else. It pisses
I get
me
it.
off.
We're talking about side
Davina
chicks
came
and
out there.
marriage.
Yeah.
What about side chicks and with men in committed relationships?
It's the same difference.
But I know, but everybody's focusing on marriage with sex, marriage. What about the man who's in a committed relationship who decides he's going to go out on it, cheat, and then pick up the side chick?
But are you aware that men compartmentalize very easily when it comes to cheating on somebody? It's like when you catch your man cheating and you give him that he give you that dumb look, like, why are you all upset? Why are you so pissed off? And you wondering, don't you know? And you get emotionally charged and fired up. For him, he can say, he can be with that woman and leave her and call you and say, you want me to bring you some Chinese food home? And won't even think about her again. There's no emotional investment or tie to that woman. And the only ones that understand how men think are men. A lot of times women get together and talk about why men this, why men that. Ask a man if you truly, really want to know.
And there's a big difference. There's a big difference in just in a committed relationship and a marriage. When you're a marriage, you're legally binded. If I'm just in a relationship with you, I can leave you at any time. Because we're not bound by anything.
But there's a loyalty and a commitment when you're exclusive.
If there's a loyalty, marry them. If it's that much of a loyalty, get married.
So it doesn't start until the day that we get married. Because to me, you know, we've been talking about all this, the pillars and how we're going to find our soulmate and where we're going with this. That starts a long time before you say I do. It does. I mean, it starts before that. There's a building, you know, there's a formation. You got to get to the norm of the relationship to say that you want to get married. So if you are willing to do that and we're just being committed, moving towards
then you're not the person we're gonna marry.
Exactly. No, but how about this? But what if I do marry you? Because I didn't know. Well, you know, I was the dumb chick on the TV show that apparently is the only person that can't figure out that the man is married. I don't know.
But, all right, this is the end of the show. When we come back for the next show, we're going to talk about that whole thing. When do you know that to get out of a relationship, everybody talks about being together, being in force, we're going to ride together, but when do you know and how do you know to get out of a relationship? We're going to come back with next week's show. next week's show. This is the end of this show. Thank you to everybody that helps us put the show together. Howard Gilliam Jr., he is the man who makes us look good and makes us sound. And then the people that makes us sound good is Austin Fine Photography. He makes us sound really well. He brings us all the good sounds and also great pictures because Austin Fine Photography takes great pictures. And of course, AD Design Group with the jewelry, Modus Cosmetics, and the Socialite Group. We want to thank the Socialite Group. I can't remember the name right now, but
Socialite Entertainment.
Socialite Entertainment, because you know what, you are bringing the people. We appreciate. We will let you know we appreciate you. TGI Fridays every 4th Saturday. All right.